Hey, former foster youth friends. My name is Lauren, and I also aged out of the foster care system.
Can you still foster if today about foster? You do it, and I'll do it, and we'll all make friends.
Let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Lauren, and this channel is called Lauren Fosters, where we talk all things foster care and adoption, which today includes a message for my fellow former foster youth kids that also aged out of foster care. So if you're just coming to my channel for the very first time, my name is Lauren. Like I said, I am a foster and adoptive mom. I am done fostering because we have a very, very full house. At least I'm done for now. 6 of our kids were adopted out of the foster care system, and we also have 4 biological kids. I'm former foster youth. I aged out when I was 18 and I graduated my senior year of high school. I usually approach all my videos through the lens of both those things. Sometimes I throw in the fact that I'm also a military wife and some other things sprinkled in there here and there. But this message is for those of you that also aged out of foster care. I aged out of foster care in 1998. I had graduated high school and I was doing really, really well at the time. I already had a job. I had a place lined up to live. I had a lot of benefits that I know other former foster youth that has aged out didn't have. My support system was really great through high school. The system where I lived actually did a really great job of preparing us for being adults and the adult worlds and that kind of thing. So I was really, really blessed in that area. So I can't complain. I was set up for success as someone could be. Our area had a lot of team get-togethers where they taught us how to do things like sew a button and go to a job interview and make a meal and things like that. So important. In fact, if you are a foster parent watching this video or an adoptive parent watching this video or any parent watching this video, please set your kids up for being adults. That is so important. And when people ask me what was the greatest thing your foster parents ever did for you, getting you prepared to be an adult, that was it. It was teaching me how to adult and how to deal with life when I was no longer in their home. All that said, even having all those resources, when I left, I found out very quickly that I was super, super alone. I do have some biological family that I still am in contact with, that I love, that are fairly supportive, but they're not super close. Like I've always kind of lived away. I was in foster care with my brother, and he kind of moved away fairly quickly, so we weren't living in the same area. I am close to my biological dad now, but at the time we weren't really communicating, and that was really the core of my family at the time. And while my foster parents were still willing to be supportive when I first moved out, I didn't feel like I was connected enough to them. Like I didn't feel like I was their real family. And I think some of you can relate to that too, where you feel like these people are just doing their duty to be my foster parents, and the second I age out, they're not gonna care, or they're not gonna be my parents. I would bet some of your foster parents, and maybe not, maybe this isn't your experience, but I knowing now as an adult and having communicated with my former foster mom as an adult, looking back, I think she would have happily supported me in any way or capacity that I asked her to, and I more had my walls up thinking she didn't care enough to want to be there. And frankly, because I didn't have good adults around me most of my life, I did have a few healthy adult relationships, and unfortunately those adult relationships ended in my grandmother, for example, passing away. You know, like the healthy relationships I did have, I felt like I was either taken from or were taken from me. So in my mind, it was like when healthy people are around, they go away. And when people don't go away, the people that don't go away aren't the healthy people. So the closest thing I had to like a really steady, healthy relationship was with my foster parents. And once again, this is just my story. I hate that I know that some of you guys that are watching this don't have that story. You don't have foster parents that were supportive or had a good head on their shoulders or cared enough, you know, or that you felt like cared enough. I don't know what your foster parent support system looked like, or if it even existed, and my heart goes out to you if you didn't have that. I did have that, and I really pushed a lot of that away. I had a lot of walls up, and some of you that are former foster youth, you have those walls too. I just really wasn't willing to let anybody in, and that included my foster parents. So on a surface level, when I was in foster care, they did a great job supporting me, and I reciprocated in that I was grateful to them and tried to be somewhat behaved. But when it came to me moving out, I was pretty done and had severed that relationship. And once again, I know some of you are looking at that like, wow, I can't believe you threw such an amazing thing away. I knew that we weren't getting adopted by them. And that's actually a story for another time. That was done by choice also on my part, because once again, I had so many walls up. I was tired of letting people in. I was tired of getting hurt. And so I was done with that whole world. I just wanted to basically spend my foster care experience getting things together, getting high school over with, and getting my job. And I had a car by the time I graduated that I had paid for myself. I wanted to spend my time getting ready for adulthood just so I could be on my own and never have to attach to another adult unless it was by my own choice and when I was ready, because my walls were so high. But I bring up my own experience because right now I have a really sweet girl in my life that I'm watching really struggle, who is in her early 20s, and I don't want to give out any details of her life. Let's just say that what she's going through is at best a struggle and a need for connection, and at worst a life or death situation. And here's the deal, I would bet that's the same for some of you. I made a video recently asking the question, do I need therapy? And I implore you, I beg you, if you're a former foster youth, if you're an adult adoptee, if you have been through trauma, maybe you're not former foster youth, and I've met adults who say, I almost wish I was a foster kid because my home life was so terrible. I implore you to watch that video. I implore you to seek out therapy, look into whatever resources you can to get the therapy you need and the help you need. But watching the sweet girl struggle and knowing that all she wants in the whole world is a family to connect to breaks my ever-loving heart. And I remember being that girl. The feeling and the need to connect and to belong is so huge for those of us who feel like we never have belonged and to feel like that we never meant much to anyone. I say this a lot to a lot of groups of people or a lot of demographics that I aim my videos at, but when I say it, I mean it, that my heart goes out to you because I know where you've been, because I've been there too. I've been that young adult that has suffered through some very severe mental health issues. I've been that adult that has wondered if I'll ever have anyone that cares about me or a place to belong. I will tell you that empty void, that empty feeling, I wish I could tell you that if you just shove enough in there, it's going to make everything better, but it's just not true. And that's why therapy is so important. Knowing your story and why you feel the way you feel and what you actually need, all those things, that's so important to go through therapy to kind of learn more about belonging and purpose for yourself, because some of us just don't have those family resources, those outside things. And I guess that's really what I'm trying to say is having those outside things are great. Having a mom and a dad and having siblings, maybe having a place to go for the holidays, those things are so important. But I don't know that I ever would have been prepared to even accept those things when I began having my own family, and my in-laws kind of like taking me in as their family, and having a husband and having kids. I don't know that I ever could have accepted those things and not caused even secondhand trauma if I hadn't done my own inner work and hadn't learned my own purpose and my own belonging, and how to love myself first. I can't express enough how important it is for those support systems to exist. And if you're looking into foster care or adoption, and you haven't considered fostering older foster kids, and it's something that you may have the capacity for, I can't suggest it enough. There are kids ready to age out of the system right now that are just, I'm gonna keep crying, begging for a mom and dad so that they have somebody to cheer them on through college and to see them through the holidays and to watch them grow up and get married and have kids and maybe walk them down the aisle. Those are things we need. So maybe you don't have somebody like me that's former foster youth speaking in your ear and telling you that they need the support and that they need the help. But if you haven't heard it yet, there is a huge need out there. There are a lot of adults right now, especially young adults, that would give anything for family and purpose and a place to belong. And if that is something you have the capacity for, I wish I could tell you I have tons of resources and that there's places to go to give you information. I don't know what those places are. In fact, if you have resources for former foster youth that have aged out and are looking to be adopted as adults, please, I beg you, put those resources below and comment on this video so that we can get those resources out there and hear a little bit more about it, because frankly, we have people that need to connect to other people. That need is huge. Once again, if you don't do that inner work, none of that outside stuff's gonna matter, but that outside stuff is also so huge. So maybe you've been sitting on the fence about becoming a foster parent, and especially to teens that are coming from trauma in a hard place. I will try to link my fostering teens video above or below, but look into it and think about it and consider it, because there are a lot of kids that could use love and support post-graduation once they've turned 18. Because you know what? Here's the deal. I have a 17-year-old right now. He's about to turn 18, and I have a 19-year-old right now, and she's only a couple of months away from 20, which is insane to me. And you know what? I kind of keep joking that my kids have never been more needy than they are right now. And those of you with young adult children, you know what I'm talking about. I kind of wonder if this is easier or harder than when they were toddlers, because they need so much, and the scale of what they need is huge. It's not like I need a toy, I need attention. It's like I am facing this really crazy hard world and navigating through so many emotional things. Maybe I'm entering the workforce for the first time, or looking into my lifelong career. Maybe I'm making this huge decision of getting married or starting a family, and they need like tons and tons of support through all of that. You know, having a baby and a toddler, huge, right? Having a young adult, also huge, and also very, very heavy duty parenting needed in that world. But this message really was supposed to be aimed at all my adult former foster youth. I love you guys. I am one of you guys. I am here for you, and I am rooting for you. I couldn't want to hear your story more. If you feel comfortable sharing it in the comments, especially for other former foster youth that are sitting at home right now and are thinking that they are 100% alone, because I promise you, all over the US and all over the world, there are kids right now that don't have any kind of support system at home. They don't have parents they feel like they can call, or can't, or parents at all. Maybe they've been orphaned. They don't have any kind of sibling support system. There are people out there that are struggling and hungry for family. And I just want you to know that you are 100% not alone. Once again, I've been you, and I still struggle through some of that, and that loneliness, and the feeling to fill that loneliness with other things. I'm here for you, and I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Hey, listen, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. I would love if you became part of our community here at Lauren Fosters. This is for adoptive parents, foster parents. Maybe you adopted but not through foster care. Share your story. Maybe you're a kid that's come out of trauma, but you've never entered the foster care system, but you've dealt with CPS. Maybe you're a caseworker, a CASA worker, some sort of court-appointed advocate. We would love you to be part of our community. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever it is for the platform you're on. I would love if you follow this page, and I will see you in the next video.